You do not always lose trust in one dramatic betrayal. Sometimes you lose it quietly. One hidden notification, one deleted message, one heart emoji that was not meant to be seen, one innocent conversation that feels too private to explain. And suddenly the problem is not only what happened, the problem is what had to be hidden. That is why modern relationships feel more confusing than ever, because cheating no longer has to begin in a hotel room. Sometimes it begins in a DM. This video is not about saying every like, emoji, or message is betrayal. People can have friends. People can be social. People can interact online without doing anything wrong. But there is a strange space now between loyalty and cheating. A blurry middle area where someone can say nothing happened, while their partner still feels something was crossed. That space is what people call micro-cheating, and it is changing how modern relationships understand trust. Imagine someone sitting next to their partner at night. The room is quiet. A movie is playing, nothing seems wrong, then the phone lights up just for 1 second. A name appears, the screen turns away, the notification disappears, and the body notices before the mind has words. A small tightening in the chest. A question that was not there a second ago. Who was that? Why did they hide it? Why did that feel private? The partner may say, it is nothing. And maybe, technically, nothing happened. No physical betrayal. No obvious proof. No dramatic confession. But now the room feels different. Because trust does not only break when someone touches someone else. Sometimes trust cracks when someone creates a world their partner is not allowed to see. Micro-cheating is not always about one action. It is about intention. A heart emoji may mean nothing. A story reaction may mean nothing. A late-night message may mean nothing. But the same action can feel different when it carries hidden energy. When someone keeps a conversation alive because they enjoy being desired. When someone hides a notification because they know it would hurt their partner. When someone acts single in private while appearing committed in public. That is where the line begins to blur. Micro-cheating is not simply talking to another person. It is quietly cultivating romantic possibility outside the relationship, not fully leaving, not fully cheating, but keeping a door slightly open. The betrayal is not always the message. Sometimes the betrayal is the secrecy around it. This is why digital loyalty is so hard to define. In the past, boundaries were easier to see. A secret meeting, a hidden letter, a phone call at the wrong hour. But now, intimacy can happen in tiny pieces. A reply, a saved photo, a private joke, a message deleted before anyone sees it. Each piece may look small by itself, but together they can create an emotional atmosphere, a place where someone feels wanted by someone else, a place where attention becomes charged, a place where the relationship has a quiet competitor, and the brain responds to that. Because the brain does not only care about physical closeness, it cares about attention, it cares about anticipation, it cares about being chosen. So when a hidden notification arrives, the feeling can be powerful, not because the screen is magic, but because it carries possibility. Maybe they replied, maybe they noticed, maybe they want me. That small hit of attention can become addictive, and when someone starts protecting that feeling from their partner, the relationship begins to lose safety. Someone reacts to the same person's stories every night. They tell themselves it is harmless, but they would feel uncomfortable if their partner saw the pattern. Someone keeps a chat muted, not because the messages are important, but because they do not want questions. Someone says, "We are just friends," but changes their tone, their timing, and their honesty whenever that person appears. Someone deletes a message, not because it proves cheating, but because it reveals intention, and intention is where trust lives. The difficult part is that modern relationships now happen in two places: the visible relationship and the private digital world. In the visible relationship, everything may look fine. They spend time together, they say the right things, they post the right photos. But in the private digital world, another story may be forming. Small moments of attention, small secrets, small escapes, small versions of the self that the partner never meets. That is why micro-cheating hurts. It makes someone feel like they are not only competing with another person, they are competing with a hidden version of their partner, a version that flirts differently, reacts differently, seeks attention differently, and keeps part of their emotional life somewhere else. Warning: this does not mean every relationship should become suspicious. A healthy relationship cannot survive constant checking. Trust cannot grow if every notification becomes a trial. But trust also cannot survive if every boundary is dismissed as insecurity. That is the tension of modern love. One person says it is just online. The other person feels, then why does it feel hidden? And both may be touching something real. Because online life is real enough to hurt, real enough to tempt, real enough to create closeness, real enough to damage trust. The screen may be digital, but the feelings are not. So the answer is not to ban every interaction. The answer is to become honest about boundaries. Not controlling boundaries, clear boundaries. What feels respectful? What feels private in the wrong way? What would you feel comfortable showing your partner? What would you hide? And why? A simple test is this. If the conversation only feels harmless when it stays hidden, then maybe it is not as harmless as you want it to be. Another test. Would you speak the same way if your partner was sitting beside you? Not because your partner should monitor you, but because loyalty is often revealed by who you become when no one is watching. Modern relationships are not only tested by big betrayals anymore, they are tested by small choices. The message you answer, the attention you feed, the notification you hide, the door you keep open, the truth you avoid because it would start a difficult conversation. Micro-cheating changes relationships because it forces us to ask a harder question. Not only did you cheat, but were you protecting the relationship when no one could see? Because love is not just about avoiding the final betrayal. It is about not building a secret path toward one. Trust is not destroyed only by one huge lie. Sometimes it is weakened by 1,000 tiny almosts. 1,000 moments where someone chooses attention over honesty, desire over respect, secrecy over safety, and maybe modern loyalty is not about never noticing anyone else. It is about knowing what not to feed, because a relationship does not only need love, it needs protection, especially in the places no one else can see. Where do you think the line is? Is micro-cheating about the action itself or the intention behind it?